right, so are cybersecurity certifications worthless? In my opinion, no, but I do think it depends on how you view and approach a security certification. So recently, I have been wanting to get and venture into my next steps and acquire new skills. And naturally, one of the ways that maybe I can improve upon is my cybersecurity certification portfolio. Now, I think it's a good just to share some caveats or the way that you approach cybersecurity certifications. And this isn't necessarily to shed a negative light on cybersecurity certifications, but I do definitely think that the approach can be flawed. And so I ask myself a couple of questions. So, a couple of things to know. One is that this is just my perspective, it's one individual's perspective. I'm limited by my own experiences. Some people will say, this is the certification you should get, or when you should get certifications. Some have great things to say about certifications, others don't really care for them. And number two is that everyone will have their own experience. And this really kind of leads me into my first overall point with cybersecurity certifications, and that is the experience is nuanced. Everyone will have their own set of experiences with getting advice with which certification to get, which certification to start with, when to get it, how to approach them. And many of us, including myself, kind of get into this trap where it's like you need to pursue XYZ certification in order to perhaps secure a new promotion opportunity, secure or foster new job opportunities in general. And while this is true to some extent for some, others experience having a certification and then getting no value out of it. Now, a lot of training providers, especially I would even say within the last 5 years, are offering their own set of cybersecurity certifications. And when you take a look at the wide array of different options, you have to ask yourself, are they worth getting? Do they hold credibility? Are they practical? And well, it can be convoluted and hard to navigate through which certifications to get. There's a lot of money to be made in the cybersecurity certification space. Offering your own certification can act as the golden shovel for training providers for the students to go mine the gold. And I'm using, of course, an analogy there. Now, I'm not in support of gatekeeping the cybersecurity certification training space. I think new providers can challenge the old providers, offer new updated content, but it's still something to be considering and taking a look at is, do they hold credibility? Are they actually worth learning and getting? With the abundance of all of these cybersecurity certification, there's often a crowd who just chases cybersecurity certifications, not for the content itself, but more so for the portfolio booster or just the certification name. Depending on how you look at this isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just depends on how you view a certification. Recruiters often use certifications as a means of filtering through applicants because it's something tangible you can point to in your requirements section. If you don't have XYZ certification, well, goodbye, you're not worth the time. And that's unfortunate given that there are so many worthy applicants out there, but oftentimes certifications are used to show that, one, that they have a general set of skills with that certification, and two, that an individual is willing to sit down, invest their time, and pass something. And that's great, but the experience and filtering and all of that is nuanced. Some individuals will just simply, like I said, cert chase, and they'll do this never having actually implemented any of the knowledge that they've learned into a real-world company, or even just implementing their own knowledge into their home lab. It's just reciting concepts. And so actual knowledge is different than just memorization. And you have to keep that in mind when it comes to cybersecurity certifications, because you can fall into that trap. So certifications don't actually mean that one possesses the actual skills and real-world knowledge to add value to a company. And this is perhaps why we see many advanced certifications now offering or only giving certifications to people who have a minimum years of security experience. All right, so in saying all of this, when is it a good idea to pursue cybersecurity certification? And these are some of the questions that I ask myself. Number one is it a requirement? If you have to do it for a job requirement, whether it's government or regulatory compliance, or your company is saying you need to get this certification, you got to go out and get it. And then number two, which is perhaps the better approach that I'm trying to take, is the content contained within the certification something you actually want to learn, or is it a trap to just have it as a means of saying, I am XYZ certified? A lot of us rely too heavily on certifications to get us the job, and most often, certifications are resume boosters, something that you can point to during your first or second round of interviews. But by the time you get into your final interview, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes professionals can see through people who are just cert chasers and have just the name, but don't actually have the real world knowledge and experience to implement the concepts involved in that certification. So I think, again, it's a nuanced experience. This isn't necessarily a one size fit all, but this is my current viewpoint on cybersecurity certifications. So the next time you go about thinking about, pursuing a certification, ask yourself, is this something that is required for getting a job? And number two, is this actually worth learning the content? And if that is, great, go get that certification. If not, then it's probably worth pursuing new training and opportunities that will reap more benefits in your career that don't have to be certified. That's my overall opinion on cybersecurity certifications. It's a nuanced experience. So what are your thoughts on cybersecurity certifications? What if your experience has been? Leave a comment in the section below. Until the next time, have a good day.